remember a couple of weeks ago when Donald Trump did his proof of life press conference, when he was gone for like a week and then he shows up and does a press conference and everybody was speculating whether or not he was dead. But during the press conference, he said he was really excited because he could not wait to show a video of something that the military did to a boat coming out of Venezuela. It was a little fishing boat. That's what it looked like to me, a fishing boat with about a dozen guys on it, and they were on their way to Haiti. They did not have anywhere near enough fuel to get to the United States of America from Venezuela, but yet Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump shot it down. They did a double tap. They blew it up and then they went back to look for survivors and they shot at it again. So all of this supposed evidence of drugs is at the bottom of the ocean, including those people. So you can claim all the live long day that, oh, we caught some drug dealers, but without any proof, it just seems like a bunch of bullshit. And it seems like you're trying to start a fucking war with Venezuela. That's what it seems like to me. From the outside looking in, it absolutely does. And by the way, fentanyl does not come out of Venezuela. The primary manufacturers of it are in Mexico and the United States. You think we don't have the technology to make fentanyl in the United States? Get your head checked. But there is a country in Latin America that happens to be one of our best partners, and it's Ecuador. And that happens to be the majority of drugs, especially cocaine, coming out of that country. It used to be Colombia, but now they have a left-wing guy there, and he is doing everything he can to clamp down on the cartel activity in his country. And of course, Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, is working diligently trying to keep the monkey off her back, which is Donald Trump, trying to make peace with him. By the way, Mexico, our largest trading partner. Used to be China, now it's Mexico. And Donald Trump is threatening to shoot missiles at cartels in Mexico. And Sheinbaum is like, don't do that. We're a sovereign nation. Don't do that. And so is Venezuela. Venezuela is a sovereign nation. So just in case you were unfamiliar with the last attack that they did a couple weeks ago, here's old Pete Hegseth saying, we have absolute and complete authority. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's international waters. You could have stopped them. You could have sent the Coast Guard over to get them off the boat and pull, if they had drugs, get the drugs, arrest them, and make a big show of it. But they don't want to do that. They just want to shoot shit down. This is what he had to say.
Mr. Secretary, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone. 100,000 Americans were killed each year under the previous administration because of an open border and open drug traffic flow.
Was there
that is an assault on the American people. I said we smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco-terrorists at the bottom of the ocean. And when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate.
We smoked the drug boat and they're at the bottom of the ocean. So no proof required. We have absolute authority to do whatever the hell we want to. We are a rogue state with a rogue military and we will act any way we want to. Go fuck yourself if you say anything different. Now, I only bring that up because it just happened again. Trump announced deadly U.S. strike on another alleged Venezuelan drug boat. So this boat, supposedly, according to them, is filled with drugs, but we'll never know because they shot it down. Donald Trump said on Monday that the United States had carried out a strike on a second Venezuelan boat and killed 3 alleged terrorists he claimed were transporting drugs. Claimed. We don't have any proof of that because he shot them down. Expanding his administration's war against drug cartels and the scope of lethal military force to stop them. U.S. President gave few details about the strike, saying in a social media post, I cannot believe we have a president that makes proclamations and announcements on his own fucking social media site. Jesus Christ, we're so fucking cooked. Gave few details, saying on a social media post that the action was on his orders and that it happened earlier in the morning. The post was accompanied by a video clip showing the boat, which appeared to be stationary, erupting in a fireball. By the way, the last boat, the one from a couple of weeks ago, they were on their way to Haiti and then they see all of the military vessels, and they are turning around. That's when they shot them, when they were literally turning around. The strike occurred while, these guys probably stopped and were like, hey, come investigate us. You'll see what we got, and it's not drugs. But they don't wait for that. They just shoot them down. The strike occurred while the confirmed narco-terrorists, I've talked about that before, they're combining the war on drugs, which is an abject failure over the last 50 years, and the war on terror, another abject failure. And they're putting those two things together so they can declare anybody they want as a terrorist, thereby using the military and its lethal force any which way that they want to. Terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters. International waters, man. Waters transporting illegal narcotics, a deadly weapon, poisoning Americans, headed to the U.S. Trump's announcement of the strike appeared to be worded in a way to suggest that there are a valid legal basis for the strike. There is none. There is none. In an issue that became a source of heavy criticism in Washington after the operation against the first alleged Venezuelan drug boat earlier this month, which killed 11 people. According to the people familiar with the matter, the administration briefed Congress last week that the first strike was legal under the presidential's Article 2 power. He loves that fucking Article 2. Article 2 means that I get to kill you, because it involved a boat connected in the Tren de Aragua gang. He also says it's MS-13, which, by the way, started in L.A. MS-13 has got nothing to do with Venezuela. Maduro, the president of Venezuela, is already on heightened alert. We have several warships, anywhere between the 6 to 8 of them, just floating in international waters just off the coast of Venezuela. Do you think that Maduro is not readying his people? They have a military, but they also have a citizenry that is ready to take up arms against the United States if they try to do an invasion. And Donald Trump seems hell-bent on doing an invasion, which Trump designated a foreign terrorist organization. All 400 Tren de Aragua members that they say are in the United States, they're a foreign terrorist organization. The administration has provided very little evidence that the first boat was carrying illegal drugs, beyond asserting that they had tracked the drugs being loaded on a boat in order to be distributed in the United States, even if the boat at one point was said to have turned around. Asked on Sunday about the first strike and claims that it was a fishing vessel, Trump said in response to the question of The Guardian, "You saw the bags of white? It's nonsense. So we knew before they even left." What? Was the naval vessels, the Coast Guard out there getting high off of the fumes from the explosion? Is that what you're telling me, Don? So we knew it before it even left. We knew exactly where it came from, where the drugs came from, and where it was heading. By claiming for the first strike on the second boat that the drugs were a threat to the United States and asserting that the boat's crew were terrorists, yet again, conflating the two, Trump appeared to be preemptively setting the groundwork to make the same Article 2 legal claim in order to order a missile strike against that second boat. The latest strike comes as the United States continues a massive buildup of forces around Venezuela. Over the weekend, 5 F-35 fighters arrived in Puerto Rico to join about a half a dozen U.S. Navy destroyers already moved to the United States territory recently, and support assets the administration said to have been deployed to disrupt the flow of illegal drugs. The U.S. Navy forces in the region are comprised of the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group. Ready for what, Don? Ready to invade? To do another illegal foreign war? By the way, what about Congress? Where are you at, Congress? I thought you guys were the ones that are only allowed to declare war. Donald Trump is declaring war on fucking everybody. Under Article 2, I get to declare war against anybody I want to. including the USS Antonio, USS Iwo Jima, USS Fort Lauderdale carrying 4,500 sailors, and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit with 2,200 Marines, according to the administration officials. Trump has been non-committal about conducting military operations inside Venezuela against the drug cartels. Like I said, no fentanyl is coming out of Venezuela, man. They don't make it there. And deflect questions about the legality of the strikes on Sunday night. What's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat. You have no proof of it because it's at the bottom of the ocean. How convenient for you. On Monday evening, Adam Schiff, the Democratic senator, said in a post on social media that I am drafting a resolution enforcing a vote to reclaim Congress's power to declare war. Yeah, well, good luck getting that out of the hands of Trump's elf on a shelf, Mike Johnson. He said, these lawless killings are just putting us at risk and could prompt another country to target U.S. forces without proper justification. And by the way, Marco Rubio is all about this war. He wants this war with Venezuela so bad. And let me remind you, Marco Rubio, one of the things he always touts is he's like, I got out of socialistic Cuba. My family escaped when I was a kid. Nah, man, that's bullshit. It's an absolute lie. Your family and you left during the Batista regime, which was funded by America. And they were a very capitalistic right-wing group that led Cuba. Castro overthrew them, but your family escaped under Batista, not under Castro. So I want to hear any of this shit about fucking communism and Castro. For his part, from Caracas, the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said hours before Trump announced the second strike that his country would defend itself against foreign aggression as he lashed out at U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He is the Lord of Death and war and hatred, Maduro said at a news conference of Rubio, who has played an outsized role in the administration's Venezuela operations as both the top U.S. diplomat and Trump's national security advisor. Yeah, because Donald Trump keeps firing people, or he can't seem to hire somebody to be able to do the job. So he's like, Marco, you've got this job too. How many hats can you wear, Marco? You're a little guy, but you got a really big head. Maybe you can wear 12 hats. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to show you this. This is Donald Trump. He says this: 300 million people died last year from drugs. Now, look, you heard Pete Hegseth saying it was 100,000 people died. Maybe Donald Trump is misspeaking and thinking it's 300,000, but he says 300 million. So with the United States population of 330 million people, I guess there's only 30 million people left in America because 300 million of them have already died. Is he on drugs? That is a very good question. Is he on drugs? The population in the United States is roughly 330 million people. I presume he isn't crazy enough to mean the deaths from drugs in the United States. If we're talking worldwide, the WHO puts the global death toll from drugs last year at 600,000. 3 million if you include alcohol. On the most generous possible interpretation, he is off by a factor of 100. The notion that 300 million people, nearly 4% of the world's population, could have died in 1 year from drugs alone is just, let's put it this way. The annual number of deaths worldwide from all causes is estimated at 60 to 70 million. But then this is the guy that claims his tariffs have raised $8 trillion, that the unreal unemployment rate under Joe Biden was 42 cents, etc., etc. Anyway, let's hear the dumbass in chief.
Just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country, and the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs. That's what's illegal.
I mean, he is Mr. Exaggeration, but 300 million people died from drugs last year. Man, he is off of his fucking tit, this guy. Now, I also wanted to show you this. This is from earlier today. He was asked about it, and this is what he had to say about the shooting of the second boat.
Venezuela, what can you tell us about this Venezuelan boat that was taken out And do you plan to provide proof that these were narco-terrorists who were on their way to the U.S.?
Well,
That's a very valid question. Are you going to provide any proof of this, or we're just going to have to go on your own word? Because you notoriously are a real truth-telling kind of guy, Don.
Proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was like it's spattered all over.
How can we look at the cargo? It's at the bottom of the ocean, dude. How can we look at the cargo? You're not providing us any proof except for a grainy video of you shooting down another goddamn fishing boat.
The ocean, big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. And it was, plus we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We've recorded them. It was very careful because we know you people would be after us. We're very careful. The military has been amazing. And General Kane showed me a little while ago the clip.
General Raising Cane showed me the clip of them blowing up this boat, and it's all scattered all over the bottom of the ocean. Trust me, I wouldn't lie to you folks. By the way, did you know I ended the war between Azerbaijan and Al Jazeera? I stopped that war. It was an amazing war, and I stopped it.
But you can actually see it, but you don't have to see it because we have recorded proof and evidence. We know what time they were leaving, when they were leaving, what they had, and all of the other things that you'd like to have.
Why didn't you arrest them? You could make a big fucking show of it. You could arrest them. You could take the bags off the boat. You could stack it up on a table. You could get Pete Hegseth to stand behind it and go, look at all the drugs that we stopped coming into America. Look at these narco criminals that we captured. Look at the great job that we're doing. Not to just blow them out of the water, man. And we don't need proof. Just trust me.
But we have noticed that there are no ships in the ocean anymore. We're seeing that there's like no ships, when the first...
I wonder why there's no ships. Because our rogue state and our crazy-ass military and our ridiculous third-string Fox News host, now the head of the Department of Defense, is blowing fishing boats out of the water. No wonder nobody's out there fucking fishing. I mean... he's literally giving you the reason why. I mean, I noticed there's no boats out there. It's amazing. It's like, wow, there's no boats. You should be surprised that nobody wants to fish. I don't get it.
When we went, there were hundreds of boats. Now there are no boats.
Now there are no boats. Used to be a whole fishing... there was a whole fishing business out there off the coast of Venezuela, and now nobody's fishing anymore. I guess it sucks to be a fisherman in Venezuela.
I wonder why. Now, what does that mean? That means there's no drugs coming by sea, but they do come by land. And you know what? We're telling the cartels right now, we're going to be stopping them too. When they come by land, we're going to be stopping them.
You just keep lying, man, and covering up that hand. He's desperately trying to cover up that hand. Don't look at the big bruise on my hand. I don't want anybody to know that I'm Cankles McDuckface over here with a big fucking IV bruise on my hand. I don't want anybody to think I'm weak. I'm doing everything I can to prove to you how very strong I am. I've got all the bombs, and I got Pete, and Pete is doing his thing.
Same way we stop the boats. And you'll see that. But maybe by talking about it a little bit, it won't happen. If it doesn't happen, that's good. But they killed 300,000 people in our country.
Oh, so it's 300,000. So maybe he misspoke. But first of all, it's not 300,000. I don't know how many people died from drug overdose in the country last year. But I sure as shit am not going to believe him or Pete Hegseth's numbers. Because that's some fucking horse shit. Anyway, goddamn, man. We are being led by Dumb and Dumberer. I mean, Tweedledee and Tweedledumbass. For God's sakes, man, what are we doing? We got a Fox News host shooting down fishing vessels at Trump's order because he's trying to prove to America how tough he is. To cover up for the fact that he is an old, decrepit man who is like on death's door. I don't know if he had a stroke or not. These guys speculate on everything. Why not I? Maybe he did have a fucking stroke. Donald Trump, it's going to be difficult to tell because, I mean, it's really hard to know whether or not a stroke affected Donald Trump's, mental faculties because his mental faculties haven't been very good for a very long time, if ever. But now we've got the president out here trying to prove how tough he is by blowing up fishing boats off the coast of Venezuela and claiming that they're narco-terrorists and we had to do it because of Article 2 and I'm the president and I can do whatever the fuck I want to. Awesome. Fan-fucking-tastic. Jesus Christ, man. 2028 cannot get here fast enough. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.